Please join Joni and me as we welcome from Colorado Springs, Colorado, our friend, Dr. Doug Weiss.
If you've been around on YouTube, you shouldn't be surprised seeing this video. It's been trending, and I guess I have some things as well to look at. Not just talk about it because everyone is talking about it, but there are some things we have to learn, and I'm looking at patterns right here. But let's go back to the beginning of this particular conversation.
Genesis 1, verse 1. In the beginning.
Just in case you don't know who we are talking about, for my unique audience who know the things we talk about here on the platform, but we just decide to go a bit above, looking at what is happening there in America. Anyone who grew up in a Christian home, probably you might have watched some of these stations before, like DAYSTAR, TBN, 700 Club. Is that a station? I think it's a program. I'm not sure, but you understand what I'm talking about. DAYSTAR is all about Marcus and Johnny Lamb. Marcus passed on 2021 November due to COVID complications. In fact, their channel was actually very much propagatory of what I would say allegedly conspiracy theories against the vaccine. It's just a fact before I start getting letters. Relax, okay? We have to go straight to the point. But fast forward to after Marcus had passed on. Someone else in the mix right now who is now married to Johnny Lamb, the wife of Marcus before he passed on, Doug Weiss, who is a marriage counselor. He has a degree in theology, at least I heard that from Madame. He's also a psychologist and a sex therapist. Hallelujah. Glory! So he happens to be the one that is now the husband of Johnny Lamb. But there's also a little bit of a mix-up here because Jonathan and Susie, Jonathan being the son of Johnny Lamb, according to Johnny Lamb herself, is claiming that he is the heir apparent.
You're the next president.
Now this is where the issue becomes more interesting because according to Johnny Lamb, she believes that Jonathan was expecting to be the new president of the ministry. Categorically, sometimes people see it to be like a TV station, but they recognize themselves as a ministry. That we will talk about as we get on. And because of the perceived power tussle, there are now other conversations as well in the mix of this. Now, I have seen every bit of videos you have watched on this platform about this, but I'm going to take it piecemeal. I'm going to peel it like an onion as we get to discuss this. But let me just lay down some facts you and I can agree on before I start getting my own letters as well. Number one, let's talk about Dr. Doug Weiss.
When we date, we're lovers. We're on.
Because he happens to be a key person in this conversation that might be leading to this family feud I am seeing. Now, him coming into the life of Johnny Lamb has been a source of blessing and happiness, joy for her.
God brought an incredible man into my life.
That to a great extent, she would go extra mile to make sure he feels happy and comfortable in his marriage and union with her.
Anyway, I just think there has to be a change of heart. I have to see that, because if I don't see that, and if I know they don't respect and honor me, and they don't respect and honor him, he's been nothing but a blessing to me, an incredible husband the month that I've been married to him. He doesn't want to take over DAYSTAR. I think really the fear here is not that he would interfere in DAYSTAR. I think the fear is that somehow they think they're losing something by him coming. But that's a lie from the enemy. It's just not true.
Why you won't put and sign for Hagari now? Let the Americans try to understand. But what people find interesting, and I find interesting as well, is that just 2 months after Marcus Lamb passed away, Doug Weiss divorces his wife, Lisa Weiss.
Yeah.
And I'm a lover. Like, if you know Doug Weiss, he loves Lisa. Okay? I'm a lover. I've never had an issue with this because even when I was getting my degrees, I would stay up 3 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't take time away from us. We'd still have our date night. We still did the disciplines because the discipline of being in love, it's a discipline, okay? Mm-hmm. And when you're a lover, you're motivated, okay? You stay preoccupied. I've checked in with Lisa a couple of times today because we got a big move at the office today. We bought a building and she's super managing all that. And, and you're intentional about, hey, I want to show you that I love you. Okay, you're creative in the way you do it because it's different at 20 than 50 or 60, okay? And you're kinesthetic. You You know what that means, right? Like you're all over them. Okay, you're hugging them, you're kissing them, you're groping them, you're touching them, you're just touching their back, rubbing their feet. You're kinesthetic with them. When you're a lover, that preoccupation, that intentionality, that creativity, and that kinesthetic stuff just happens because you want to be connected.
Now, we haven't heard from Doug Weiss his own story as to why he divorced the wife. And we haven't even heard from Lisa, who hasn't spoken. I think she's a bit more conservative, I would say, on this particular situation. But Johnny Lamb has been making commentaries and granting interviews as well when she's been asked about it. In fact, she's even written a book, discussing about the supernatural revelations and everything that led to her being married to Doug. The last time I checked, in the charismatic circle, the Lord spoke to me, the Lord spoke to me, the Lord spoke to me, is what people believe more than even what the Bible says.
I mean, remember Brenda Cassie was on the show with me, her and her husband pastor, great church, and she said, the Lord spoke to me 3 days ago that he's going to bring someone in your life for you not to be afraid, open up your heart. So there were like confirmations.
This is what I find interesting as well. While people have claimed that was too fast, would he have divorced his wife because there's now an opening? Let's not make that comment yet, because even though he divorced his wife January 2022, according to Johnny herself, please listen to her.
But anyway, about the 7th, 8th month, God brought an incredible man into my life.
Madam, I have to play your video because the way you people are moving on this platform is facts over sentiment. So get that into your upper echelon of your brain. So looking at this, of course, clearly, she said it was 7 months. Some other podcast, she said 8 months. So let's say 7 to 8 months after the husband died was when she actually got to meet with the person of Doug, or would I say have some interesting conversations with him. Now, get to know that particular time is going to be around June, July 2022. Now, Doug himself at this point had been divorced already, but he was scheduled to have a program over there at DAYSTAR, and he called in more like courtesy to really have a conversation as to, is it really okay that I can do this program even though I am divorced? Let me even ask you people a question. How can marriage counselor, psychologists, even have degree in theology and sex therapist, you are the one that is actually counseling people, but you are not handling your home very well? Help me understand. This life, the things we see on TV might just be a show, but some people can't just hide it even on TV. Look at this video of when Johnny Lamb and Doug Weiss were getting married. The way I'm looking at Susie's face, she's not happy at all. But Jonathan knows how to fake a smile. I'm guessing so. But I'm trying to draw a similarity here, so please pay attention to details. If you are meeting me for the first time, my name is George. I talk about trends, mainly about Africa and things that happen in the African church. So if you are meeting me for the first time, it's okay, I understand. Just get the facts of the conversation. Now I'm back to the news. You have to understand that I am seeing a similarity between the character and persona of Susie in the life of Jonathan, just like how the person of Johnny Lamb was in the life of Marcus, and you'll get to why I'm beginning to see that similarity. So fast forward to them starting their conversation, because according to her, they were texting.
He was giving me a courtesy call because he said, my show's about to start on DAYSTAR, and he said, I know that you don't know this, and he said, I want to do the right thing and let you know that I have gone through a divorce. And first thing I said, I'm so sorry, to hear that, because we're for marriage.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Absolutely.
And he said, I didn't know if it would preclude me from coming on the network or if that would, be a deterrent. And I was like, I know you're a godly man. I know you're a man of character. And over time, he said, I said, is there any way, that could save the marriage? Obviously, he'd been trying to do that for years. And he just said, there's just a lot you don't know about to the story.
Yeah.
So, we started talking, and mainly like friends, right? And but then I started getting a text, and I kind of liked seeing the text come up, and I'm thinking, "What, Lord? What are you doing?" And then,
how did that feel?
I didn't think I could feel like that again.
Hello, is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes. Oh, I can see it in your smile. So while they were texting then, she was beginning to like the text messaging. Man, Doug Weiss, if you are watching this video, you need to give me some tutorials, because the people have been texting all this while, they are not feeling anything. Okay, over here I tried to be a bit sarcastic and hallelujah. So let's be serious. So that was when they started, having their conversation. And according to Johnny Lamb, she had to bring in Jimmy Evans into their relationship, so it becomes a good triangle. More like that accountability. But that's not the main thing I'm looking at in this video, okay? Because I don't want us to be all over the place. I want to take this conversation piecemeal so that at least my audience who are unique here can understand. Those of you that probably the algorithm shows this video to you because you're in America, you will also understand based on the many videos you have consumed. I heard that letters are flying around here on YouTubers. Over here is facts over sentiment. So when the letters come, just make sure you are cherry picking my words carefully, because when I come, I give woto woto. Go and Google the meaning of woto woto. Okay, now there are many issues circulating around, but this video is me looking at the marriage between Doug Weiss and Johnny Lamb. But just to give you other factors, of course, that are culminating in this scandal. Number one is a resurfacing of a story that was supposed to have been an in-house conversation, at least in the ministry, involving an alleged molestation of the daughter when she was 4 of Jonathan and Susie Lamb by someone who is named Pete, an internal person in the family, as being circulated. That is one issue. Number two, Jonathan and Susie, of course, being fired from DAYSTAR as a result of, I don't know how to use the words. Please, Johnny Lamb, use your words to explain it.
Recently, DAYSTAR made the decision to terminate my son, Jonathan Lamb's employment. That decision was not taken lightly. It followed a 15-month review of Jonathan's performance and his refusal to take any steps to satisfy a detailed performance improvement plan put in place. He also refused my offer to participate in a formal mediation to resolve grievances in a biblical and professional manner.
Are you getting the point now? Now, number three as well here, Johnny Lamb as well, claiming that
Jonathan was extremely disappointed that he was not named the future president of DAYSTAR following the death of his father and my husband, Marcus Lamb, despite the fact that Marcus had given a clear directive to the family and to the board that I would succeed him as president. Jonathan's disappointment in not getting his way only deepened when I married Dr. Doug Weiss, who has been such a blessing to me, the rest of my family, and DAYSTAR.
Because Jonathan himself was expecting that he was going to be the new president. That is issue number 3. Issue number 4, which is what I'm discussing right now, is that the coming in of Doug Weiss into this Lamb family has created a more of disunity amongst them. Okay, then this one is number 5. I don't see it to be much of an issue except from what I'm seeing flying on social media, because where I come from in Africa is a charismatic lifestyle with respect to the whole spiritual abuse of saying that Johnny Lamb is like the voice of God to Jonathan and Susie, or would I say the voice of God in DAYSTAR?
Sucked into the black hole, and it's just going to keep feeding this until you submit. And submission means she's the voice of God to you. Now, I pastored for 30 years in Amarillo, and I had a wonderful relationship with all the elders. And I said,
I'm sorry, can you clarify? She said she's the voice of God to me?
she's the voice of God
So
to you.
God's voice is
So I have to hear, if I can't hear from God, I have to hear from her?
Outside of DAYSTAR. What she says is God in DAYSTAR. This is the voice of God in DAYSTAR now.
But what accountability does she have if she's off?
Well, she has
Him.
a husband. She has a board.
I'm on the board.
Yeah, but you're not individually. You're not her accountability. Individually, you're her employee. And I'm saying,
No, I mean,
wait a minute, Jonathan.
I have accountability.
She's the voice of God in DAYSTAR.
No, there's no other accountability at
Romans 13
DAYSTAR.
tells us to submit to authority, all authority, because it's established by God, and it's the minister.
No,
of
but
God
I'm
does,
saying
even
who-
civil authority.
But who is her accountability at DAYSTAR?
But that's not your concern. Your concern is to do what she says, and if you can't be here.
No, it is my concern.
No, Jonathan, you keep arguing with everything. You got to stop.
I'm not arguing.
You're arguing with everything. You've got to stop. And you've got to accept the fact that's the boss. You've got to do what she says. And if you can't, you got to leave. And not everything's going to be a conversation.
Come on, ask those who are in Africa. You will see them in the comment. Is the voice of your pastor not seen as the Lord has spoken? Because I have been hated on this platform for a long time, because when I speak against quote and unquote their pastors themselves and the things they say, I am seen to be an antichrist, because Christ has spoken and probably I shouldn't have to say nothing. Anyway, that is being seen to be spiritual abuse, respecting spiritual authority. So, oh, now being accountable to God is now a conversation. Anyway, at least it's starting from DAYSTAR. Inside DAYSTAR Corporation or DAYSTAR Church or DAYSTAR TV station, however you want to put it. But you get the point now. So if you understand these issues, let's now look at Doug Weiss and Johnny Lamb. Now, Johnny Lamb, of course, is very, very happy. And I'm going to play a video of her discussing about their union. So you will listen to her talk about it. You know, I like to listen to people, so I really understand them from their point of view. But that is where the whole issue is actually culminating from. Because ask yourself this question: had it been Doug Weiss didn't come into the family, and then the children are seeing him to be more of like an opportunist? Come on, I listen to those particular audio before someone start to send me letters.
I'm being sued.
I see him to be probably like an opportunist as well. You know, he has hidden agendas. Even the letter that came from Dennis Box, who is quote and unquote someone that knows Doug Weiss and Lisa and also Johnny, an open letter. I'm going to read that, of course, in this video. It gets to purport that Doug Weiss himself is probably having an agenda with respect to going into DAYSTAR. But the last time I checked, I'm going to read the letter for you guys to understand. He signed a prenup before even getting married to Johnny Lamb, which includes that he's not going to hold any leadership position in DAYSTAR, neither does he have any share in the inheritance or something.
To her, and I told her, I'm not for Doug, I'm not against Doug. I just don't want you to get in any situation that God will bless. And so I started having conversations with Doug. Doug never badmouthed his wife to me. He never said anything bad about her. I talked to him about him, and he started telling me when he was saying things, it was consistent with 41 years of experience of people that I've talked to exactly in his situation. And I respected the fact that he never tried to trash Lisa to me. I talked to him about signing a prenup. Absolutely. I've got my own money. I don't need Johnny's money. I talked to him about not being in leadership at DAYSTAR. He said, listen, I'm about to retire. I don't want another job. I don't need that, blah, blah, blah. Every time I pushed a button, okay, and I pushed a lot of them, gracious, godly, righteous, prayed about it. The Lord spoke to me, talked to Joni, went through the whole process. That doesn't mean anything to you guys. You treat me like I'm just like you, or that really I'm less than you because I don't understand, because Doug knows how to talk to me and pull the wool over my eyes. I'm saying to you, I have her and me together. First of all, she just outranks you, period. That's a simple issue. But secondly, you've got 80 years of experience sitting right here talking to you. It's a spirit, Jonathan. It's a spirit. That you won't listen, not just to authority, but to experience. I know more than you know about marriage. I know that you have more than you'll ever know about marriage. Okay? That's who I am. That's who God made me to be. And I'm sitting here trying to help you and your family through this situation, and you've disrespected me the whole time in the sense that you've rejected everything I had to say. So I'm sitting here today, and I'm hoping for a good outcome.
He trusted me to the highest level. Who is my accountability? God is my accountability. He will spank me good if I do something wrong. But people like Jimmy Evans will tell you that I call him, just like I called him when I started dating Doug. Like, if I'm doing something wrong, tell me. And I told you I would submit to that.
And she did. The prenup, when she called me when they were dating, I said, now, Joni, he's going to sign a prenup. And we talked about that for a long time. And she agreed, and I talked to Doug, and I said, Doug, you know you have to sign a prenup.
You told her to sign the prenup?
Yeah.
I told, at the very beginning, we talked about a prenup.
I don't know if you heard that, but you could see Jonathan himself just asking to be sure, like, you told her that he had to sign a prenup. So you see that is where his interest is. Like, this is practically what they recorded themselves. So if you are listening to Johnny talking about the fact that they see him to be probably as an opportunist and it's all about, you know, him wanting to be president or something, there's an element of truth there just looking at this live reaction here. They recorded it themselves, not George. Okay, before you start bashing me in the comments, because there's a lot of sentiments flying around, but we have to stay true to facts. You get what I'm saying?
And he told me he wasn't going to accept him right off. He's like, my responsibility is to take care of you. You're like my sister. He's like my big brother. You know that. And so he said, I'm not going to just say yes with this. And so, but other people in my county, with my years of
So
ministry.
she's been very submitted to me in many circumstances, but in this situation with Doug, totally. And we have very difficult conversations, and she never pushed back. She never rebelled, and neither did Doug.
Okay. So now you know that I came prepared for this conversation. I'm so sorry, my wonderful audience. I know I'm owing you some interesting conversations we are supposed to have, but I need to deal with this one because someone literally begged me to talk about it. Not like begged me, but told me, George, I think I need your opinion on this since I'm beginning to have some audience outside Nigeria. But do you understand what I'm saying? So if you are getting the chronology of this conversation, please try to follow me along because I'm trying to make this video as short as possible. You begin to see that is where the problem started, because had it been he never came into that family, do you think you would be hearing about this child, which I think either number one is being used as a soft landing in this conversation to create a public sympathy? Number one, I have to be as factual as possible. Or number two, it becomes a more justifiable reason why DAYSTAR as a platform should maybe be cancelled or be losing finances, because whether you like it or not, every platform is sustained by those who support and finance that particular platform. Now, who are those championing this? Jonathan Lamb and Susie Lamb, that are the ones speaking about it. Now, I've watched their response video. Okay, before you start writing that in the comments, where they talked about having gone to the police first and then later it was, squashed, and then later they claimed allegedly that they saw the daughter with the same person somewhere, and then the person was even, Pete was even shivering and, saying he's sorry how many times and all of that. Anyway, Johnny Lamb has come out to say that is false and all of that. I've seen all of those conversations, but I'm just asking this critical question now. Do you think all of these conversations would be public now and people talking about it if Doug Weiss hadn't got in, Sharpman, into that particular system? Because had it been he never got in there, maybe Jonathan and Susie Lamb would have felt very safe and you wouldn't be hearing about this. Because think about this. For them to be intentionally recording audios for evidence, of course, I know that. And please, if you are in that kind of situation, please have your evidence, because it's going to be your words against whoever, and no one would believe you. Now they have been fired consequentially, I would say, because of their non-submission to spiritual authority. You know what happened? You heard the audios. I heard it myself. This is more like an exit strategy, I would say. And notice this, where this whole thing started was because, if you listen to the audios and what has been flying around, so them not accepting Doug is one issue. Another issue that is seen to be a structural, or what I say, an employee to a boss issue, even though he was the vice president, was that they did not read a listener's comments. Just like saying right now, you are watching me, some of you are saying you are very stupid, you are very mad, you are idiots. Do you expect me to be reading the comment of you insulting me? I am not stupid. But the point is that Johnny Lamb, expected that they themselves, even though there have been a previous issue of them not accepting Doug Weiss to marry Johnny Lamb, they were expected to read a viewer's or a listener's comment to the public that more like praises Doug Weiss and Johnny Lamb's relationship. Now, Susie is saying, I have my personal convictions, because someone that might be looking at me, reading that and saying it to be like, oh, I support this particular marriage. And Jonathan himself wouldn't do the same. Listen to this particular part of the audio.
So you cannot read a comment about Doug, and you know that. If tomorrow you were on Ministry Now and you had to read a comment about Doug, would you? The same comment you didn't read?
Oh, if I had to submit to her, then absolutely.
That's what he just said. I submit to you, Mom.
So you would read a comment. The comment y'all wouldn't read, you would now read.
Oh, I mean...
That's what he's saying.
Just...
So now you're in trouble with her.
So now you're
Why are you in trouble? What, you'll make me some bad guy.
I'm not
I
in
said
trouble
you
with her.
can
I'm
be...
just
Just speak your mind. I'm
you're
telling
in bed, Susie. You've got him by the balls, and you know it. And
Wow,
that's
babe.
exactly what
Babe,
you
they're
do.
really scary. They've taken horrible
No,
things.
no. That's not
I
the
got
case.
you by the balls.
And other people see it. You
talks
see it in
like
your
this?
eyes right now, and you look at him like
Who
you gave him
talks?
a look.
I gave him a look of pity. Like I'm trying to. You're cornering him. This is so evil. What is happening?
No, what's evil
And
is
you're
you.
telling me that I've
What's
got it
evil
by the
is you and the
balls.
spirit
So-
that's driving you, and the things you've done, the things you
Horrible.
said, the things you've written, the people that you've talked to, the people who've told me things you said that are disgusting.
Like what?
That is what evil.
Like what?
You know, Sissy.
What? I don't.
You
Tell me.
know. Oh, please, don't even try it.
What are
okay?
this?
Just
What are?
don't.
Can you tell me what these things are?
No, I'm not, because you know what they are.
I have
I
no
don't.
idea.
Jimmy, you were there in the meeting with the children. You heard what all she said. You told me what
Tell
she
me
said.
some of the things.
We don't.
Well,
Why do we have to repeat what you said? You know what you said.
Susie, the thing is,
Everything I
the
said
whole-
in good
the
conscience.
whole
So I don't know
conversation-
what's disgusting.
The whole conversation gets down to you're not submitted. Now, and you've admitted it, so I'm good with you. You've admitted you won't. Okay. Now it's down to you, and you won't. You always come back to the qualification of the personal conviction. And so I said, if you're on TV tomorrow, if you're on ministry now, and you're
I
asked
can't
to
even
read,
look at you
See, and that's the enemy right there. I can't even
That's
look at
fine.
you.
because now it's the
Yes, it
balls.
is. Yes, it
Because
is.
they say I got you by the balls. It's so crazy.
But the point being, whatever she says moving forward is God. Is okay, God, she's my boss. Whatever you say, I'll do. It is. She is God's authority in this place, and your job is to do what she says, not your way, but her way, until she's pleased. And she is saying, Doug, her husband, there are going to be times, first of all, she wants you to be kind to him and respectful in the way that pleases her. She wants you to be able to read a comment or whatever else comes up in the course of your duties at DAYSTAR. And you're saying you can do that now.
Whatever. If it's a sign for me to read a comment, then as it stands now, I mean, I'm not going to do something that's if it's something that's going against a, if it's like, if you had to read a comment saying people should get the job, obviously you're not going to do it, right?
You know what the comment is. There will be a positive comment, as we've gotten many from viewers, and I'm sure I'll have it on there to read on viewer feedback. It's not going to be ridiculous, not going to be something that's outrageous. I would never ask anybody to
But
do
Jonathan,
anything.
it just doesn't matter if you agree with it. That's not even an issue. And if you have to agree with it, you're not submitted.
Now it begins to make sense. You know why I'm saying so? Listen to Doug here talking about Lisa years ago while he was having an interview with Johnny with a bunch of women as well. Look at how he talks about his wife.
What did you start, you and Lisa? What did you operate as when you got married, and what are you operating at now?
Well, as we started marriage, Lisa wanted a monarchy, but I wouldn't let that happen.
So she wanted you to completely...
She wanted me to be the man leads the house and he makes it. No, baby. No. There's no male or female in Christ Jesus. We're equal. I need your wisdom and intelligence to help, to guide as we're going through. And Jesus is the head of our house, not me. Okay, so I'm not going to... Jesus always resisted the temptation to be called a monarch or to be put in a monarchical position. He would not do it. I wouldn't do it either. I'm like, I am not going to go into some secular role of being a king over you. Okay, we're going to serve each other, and we move in that direction. We kind of pretty much stay there, but now as our responsibilities is multiplied, we have a corporate substructure which allows Lisa to do this, this, and this, and I do this, this, and this, and then we come together if it's a bigger issue.
Wait a minute. So that was the show.
What's your favorite things about Lisa?
Oh, she's got the purest heart I've ever met. I mean, it's just, she loves and serves with excellence. Everything she does with excellence. She's an amazing individual, creativity-wise. She's an amazing mom, and she runs our company. We just bought a 20,000 square foot building for a counseling center. That's a lot. She runs it like a home. I mean, people just like her because she's just got this kind of like, how can I help you? Heart. That's just easy.
That is so much like my Joni.
Oh, thank you.
She is great
So
in everything she does.
Would you take a moment?
So he was just saying all of these sweet things about the wife. In fact, his own house is not even a monarchy system. It's more like, them working together. So he loves the wife. She's so amazing. Wow. How many times do people lie on TV just for you? You see, be careful of what you watch on social media. The people you are seeing there standing and wearing white, even me, that I'll get to that, I'm wearing black. So it's violence, I would say. Be careful because the things they say may not be true. accept what he's saying is true at that particular point, and Lisa is just innocent of whatever it is that is said to be the reason for his divorce. Now, there are only two grounds for divorce in the Bible that we know of. Number one is sexual immorality. Number two is a case of abandonment of an unbeliever. Facts over sentiments. My question is, if Johnny Lamb is looking at because they keep saying that Doug Weiss has a biblical reason for divorce, but that is his story to tell. Can't you just say his biblical reason? Anyway, she has insinuated it many times, which of course we are going to look at here. Even in the audio it was mentioned, even though not like publicly being spoken. So we will listen to her talk about it in an audio, or would I say in a podcast that she attended. This case would be a case of abandonment according to the way she insinuated it. Please, if you are sending me the letter as well, please just clarify if I'm correct, because I'm speaking this one as fact, that Doug Weiss' reason for divorce is biblical and is abandonment. But is Lisa his wife and unbeliever in that sense, or is the abandonment something else? I'm guessing, because if he's a sex therapist, was he missing that in that relationship, that he wanted another one? I'm just checking now. Are you getting the point now? So that is one thing I was seeing right here. When it comes to them being fired, or would I say them leaving the job, either ways, it was just because of that recognition and acceptance of Doug Weiss in the family. So he is the center of attention. Other things you are seeing as factors do not really matter. Him coming in. But I'm now asking myself a question. If he has signed a prenup, I'm not taking anything, I'm not interested in anything. In fact, I'm not even having any leadership position right here. Signed it, of course, clearly. And the letter that was coming from the person writing to the Lamb family against Doug Weiss marrying Johnny Lamb is talking about the fact that he's coming into he has an agenda coming into DAYSTAR. Where is the issue? If he has signed a prenup that is very public, at least between Jimmy and Johnny, I'm guessing. You all know what prenups are. Come on. So where is the issue right here? Except Jonathan and Susie Lamb have an agenda. Oh yes, I hate to be the devil's advocate, but I think I have to be on this one, facing the facts. Yes. Now it's okay, them not accepting the marriage on the ground of the fact that there is no biblical reason for divorce and the mother would actually be involved in adultery. A voice of God, I would say, Jimmy Evans is involved in the relationship. So if a pastor that is there is saying that it's okay, I thought this was a charismatic thing. You dare not question authority. How come this is happening now? So people's brain are beginning to open. I have Bible, you have Bible. How far now? What are you saying? Now you are seeing my people in Africa. See what these Oyibo people are doing. Be learning, gradually. Just that over. Look at we are not able. I have to talk about Toby. Let me not promise. If I promise now, my people will just come and give me what I'm promising too much. I have not fulfilled. We will get there one day. But do you get the point? The center of this particular conversation right now, Doug Weiss. If Doug Weiss never happened, you wouldn't be this whole issue of reopening investigation about that. It will not end. I'm not saying that I don't have any value or respect for minors and all of that. No, I'm not saying that. If what is being said that the girl went through is true, then I don't condone that. I don't accept it being swept under the carpet, and things should be done as well to deal with it. When Marcus was alive, this could be covered and this could be dealt with as a family, and they all kept quiet. What is raising this issue up again? Yes. What is the trigger raising it up again? Yes, of course, a lot of sympathy would come to Jonathan. Yes, of course. And then even the platform itself, when it comes to the purported come on, tell yourself the truth. Some of the people that are preaching on DAYSTAR, some of them are very questionable, of course, when it comes to what they teach. But whether you like it or not, business is business. If they are paying for the airtime, what do you expect?